Hi guys, it's Makayla. Today I'm going to show you how I transformed the dining space of the rental house in Los Angeles.
I'll also show you renter-friendly tips, how to decor items, and how to make DIY furniture and decor pieces.
So, stay tuned.
Last time I showed you the dining room makeover for the same house.
I was making so many DIY projects, and just when I was about to wrap it all up, I got the news. The homeowner was selling the house and I had to move out.
The link is in the description, so be sure to check it out. Today I'm focusing on the dining room space. Let me first show you how the previous tenant had decorated it. As you can see, they hung mugs on the wall and had a coffee machine along with some alcohol displayed. While this might seem convenient, I always say this:
every single item in your home becomes part of the decor.
I often see people clutter their sideboards or desks with random things. Pictures with frames from a dollar store or not so stylish souvenirs from trips.
That's why you need to choose your pieces very carefully. If something doesn't look good, simply hide it.
Good storage solutions are essential. And if you're displaying mugs and bottles, make sure to choose ones with only good designs that complement the space.
Alright, now let me show you the first DIY project in this video, my dining table makeover.
Since this is a small dining area, I wanted a round table because it takes up less space than a rectangular one. So I decided to give a makeover to a round table I already had. I got this table for just $60 on Craigslist when I first moved to the US 10 years ago.
I had always been obsessed with mid-century modern interiors. I really wanted an authentic tulip dining table, but well, this was what I could afford at that time, so I made it work. Here's how I remade it.
First, I removed the leg from the tabletop of the dining table. I cut a cardboard tube and lumber to the same length. Using construction adhesive, I glued 3 tubes together. Then, using a wood dowel and construction adhesive, I connected to the lumber to the tabletop. To decide where to connect with the dowel, I painted the tip of the dowel and stamped it on the tabletop like a stamp. Afterward, I attached the tube to the tabletop with construction adhesive. I used lumber inside the tube because cardboard alone was too weak to serve as a table leg. Next, I applied spackle around the tube. It took a few days to dry. The next day, it was still soft, so I waited until it became firm enough. Then I sanded it down. Afterward, I painted and finished it. The ordinary design transformed into a designer's table. For details, check out the long video. To go with this dining table, I got these mid-century inspired chairs on Amazon. You can find the link in the description below.
I'm so happy I was able to transform this table. The crazy thing is, when I moved to the US, I was 5 months pregnant and moved here all by myself. I only knew 2 acquaintances in the Los Angeles area. I had no jobs and had very little savings. So yeah, it was tough and money was tight. I know it sounds crazy, but I knew I had to take a huge risk to make my big dream come true, which was living in the US. But what I wanted to say is, sometimes having no money is kind of actually amazing because it pushes you to get creative AF. And that's how my DIY spirit was sparked. It led me to start this YouTube channel, and now I get to share it all with you. By the way, it's been 10 years since I moved to the US. Now I have amazing careers, so many wonderful friends, and my son is 10. He's going to the best elementary school in the area. So looking back, taking that risk was totally worth it.
There's a wall between the entrance and the living room, and this wall has an arched cutout, which I absolutely love. The space from the cutout wall is the first thing you see when you walk into the house. So I wanted to make the wall in the dining room look special. I first looked up some nice wallpaper and found a few of my favorites. But when I calculated the cost, I realized it would come to almost $350 to $400.
I thought that was a little too much to spend on just one small wall in the rental house. So I decided to paint it instead.
I first brainstormed the design on paper. Then, using a torpedo level, I created the pattern with masking tape. After that, I painted it with a paintbrush. I wanted to keep a distressed look, but it was a bit difficult to create the perfect distressed touch every time I stroked the paintbrush. So after the first coat dried, I used the white paint I had for the base color and added the distress touch with the thin paintbrush. When the line became too thin, I made it thicker with also a thin paintbrush. After it dried, I peeled off the masking tape. It turned out much better than I expected. One of the viewers commented that it looks better than the wallpapers, and I really appreciate that. I placed the shelf that I've had for a while in front of the accent wall.
I wanted some wall art above the shelf that would go well with the accent wall, but I couldn't find anything I really liked. Good ones were pretty expensive, so I decided to make one myself.
Here's how I made DIY fabric wall art. First, I brainstormed the design and drew it on the paper. Then I got monotone fabrics with different textures, cut them into small pieces, and made the miniature version to see how it looked. Then I drew the lines on the craft board. I used everyday items to draw curved lines. I cut the fabrics into pieces and ironed them. I used all-purpose spray adhesive to glue them on the craft board. For the frayed edges, I used the fabric glue. But don't use fabric glue for a large part as it could create a bumpy surface. I pulled out the threads from the woven fabric and glued them on the edges. I used the suede ribbon to create this stripe pattern. Then I framed it and hung it on the wall. This has been so popular among the guests who came to my place, and now I have a potential buyer.
Then I decided to decorate the shelf with decor items I got entirely from Amazon. Let me show you all the products. I'll also leave the links in the description.
I literally fell in love with this unique table lamp at first sight. The curved, sleek design totally vibes with the trend right now. Just a heads up though, the size is pretty big, so make sure to check the dimensions before you purchase. I love these artistic candle holders. You've probably seen them on social media because they were everywhere last year. What I love about them is that they look handmade, but they also have this polished, refined look. Now, this display bowl made from travertine stone is absolutely gorgeous. There are lots of display bowls out there, but the material and the shape of the legs really make this one stand out. These black and white vases are a perfect match, and it comes as a set of two. Sadly, they're sold out right now. I'll drop the link to a similar design in the description for you guys. Now, this plant pot, I saw it, and I just had to place an order right away. But when it arrived, I realized it was actually so much smaller than I thought. But actually, it turned out to be the perfect size to place on a stack of books. I also picked up this U-shaped vase. The design is super unique, but unfortunately, the black version is sold out. They still have the red one in stock, and I'll pop the link in the description too. If you're really into the black, it would be easy to paint it yourself. I also chose these books as part of the decor. This is the Furniture Handbook, and it's an incredibly useful guide to choosing, placing, and taking care of furniture so your home feels beautiful and really works for your lifestyle. This book, Architectural Digest at 100, is a celebration of the magazine's 100 years. It's full of the most iconic and stunning photos and stories ever published in Architectural Digest. So, West Coast North is all about the amazing interior designs in Canada's Pacific Northwest, especially in British Columbia. It's getting a bit outdated since it was published 3 years ago, but it's still packed with beautiful interiors that you can totally enjoy today. This is one of those style books that's meant to be used as decor, with nothing inside. I'm not usually a fan of these kinds of books, but I like that this one has a beautiful cover design, and instead of just being an empty box, the inside is actually filled with blank pages, making it usable as a notebook too.
I also did fun little DIY projects to match these products.
I made this object out of tiny dishes I found at the Japanese store Daiso. I simply stacked them, glued them together, and applied spackle for a seamless look. If you've seen my dining room makeover video, you might remember I made a West Elm knockoff decorative object. And guess what? I made another one and painted it black this time. I used to have these rectangular mirrors on this wall in the dining room.
I actually used to be a dancer and I needed those mirrors for my dance practice. However, they didn't quite match the current trend.
So I decided to switch them out for these irregular shaped mirrors I found on Amazon. As far as I know, this was the most reasonably priced option, and I like it because the design is unique and stylish, but not too much. The link is in the description. Before putting up the mirrors, I traced their shapes on paper, cut them out, and taped them to the wall to test the placement. This way, I wouldn't end up making unnecessary holes if I didn't like the positions.
Now let's talk about what I did to the lighting.
There was a recessed light right above my dining table, but instead I wanted to hang a nice modern chandelier there.
Did you know you can actually turn a recessed light into a pendant or chandelier?
There's a kit for it and you can find it on Amazon. I wish there had been a sleeker design, but this was the only option I could find at the time. I apologize I don't have video footage of the installation, but please follow the instructions provided with the product. The link is in the description. I got this modern chandelier from Amazon, but just using regular bulbs felt a bit underwhelming. So I picked up some large bulbs from IKEA, and just swapping them out made the whole look so much more glamorous. I used to have a plant in the corner of my dining room, but I wasn't really loving it. So instead, I put this gorgeous pedestal I immediately fell in love with from West Elm. And on top of it, I added this super cute mushroom lamp I found on Amazon. Another love at first sight. I leave the links of everything: chandelier, IKEA bulbs, West Elm pedestal, and Amazon mushroom lamp.
Before I show you the final look of the room, let me quickly mention something exciting: my interior design service.
I offer online consultations where you can get one-on-one interior design and home decor advice from me, whether it's just for a quick tip or a deeper transformation for your space. I also provide e-design services, so no matter where you live, I can help transform your room into something amazing. And of course, on-site interior design service if you happen to live in Los Angeles area. Check out the details at makaylainterior.com for more information.
Alright, the wait is over. Let me show you the stunning transformation of my dining room. I'm happy with how this transformation turned out. As I mentioned in the previous video, I actually don't live in that space anymore. I got kicked out of that rental house right in the middle of all these epic makeovers. If you want to hear the whole story, the link is in the description. Even though I barely had time to enjoy it, I'm so proud of what I created. Some of you may already know, I also have been a professional musician for many years. The music you're hearing right now is one of my songs. I've been working from home, making music for more than 2 decades. And I've learned firsthand just how much interior design can affect our lives, work efficiency, and our well-being. When my space is clean and organized, I can focus so much better. And when I'm surrounded by beautiful design, I can truly relax and enjoy my time off. I don't know if you believe in feng shui, but I'm actually from a country where a lot of people practice it. It's all about energy, and I truly believe every item in your space carries its own energy. Marie Kondo is absolutely amazing, but honestly, nothing she said surprises me. When your space is full of clutter, your mind feels cluttered too. But when you're surrounded by the things you love, of course your life starts to feel more joyful. I know decluttering feels overwhelming sometimes, and DIY takes time, but I really encourage you to just start small. One corner, one drawer, one step at a time. When your space becomes your dream castle, it's so worth it. If you would like some help, I'm happy to offer just a one-time consultation to share my ideas with you. And if you're thinking about a full renovation, I'd love to talk and see how we can work together. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, sending you lots of love, and I'll see you soon. Bye!